Hey everyone, I hope you had a great day. In this video we are looking at some new r/malicious compliance stories. I hope you enjoy them. The first story is called "You Need to Be Out Faster." I used to work as a manager for a very large pizza chain that is franchised. The franchisee at my particular store happened to be a supreme penny pincher, to the point where our broom broke a year ago and they're still using it. Generally, after we close, it takes us anywhere from 10 minutes to 90 minutes to get the store cleaned up and all the next day prep done, depending on how busy we've been that day. And it's always busy. Now, the franchisee who runs the store is not happy with how long it takes us to do all of this. It costs him too much, he says. He had been complaining to me incessantly about how we all need to be done with our work and clocked out within 15 minutes of closing. This is completely impossible 99% of the time. My record is 10 minutes for the quickest time and 2.5 hours for the longest. One day, after hearing him complain for the umpteenth time about how we take too long and how he could easily get it all done alone far faster than my team, I decided okay, we'll be out within 15 minutes from closing. This particular day, however, was Christmas Eve. This is one of our most chaotic days of the year due to the combination of people who want pizza for the occasion, which is a ton, and lack of staff due to most of them saying they can't work over Christmas. We managers usually have to double our hours over Christmas to keep the place running. So, as expected, we have an absolutely chaotic day. Everything was running behind while being understaffed and swamped in orders. And then closing time comes. The franchisee has long gone home, leaving me with my 2 co-workers to close up and the store is an utter mess. Usually I get most stuff done before we even close. But there hadn't been a single opportunity that day. So the floor is littered with food and rubbish. And the stack of dishes to do is 4 people high. Literally 4 piles a person high each. So I tell my coworkers to sweep and mop the floor while I blitz through all the cash counting and end of day paperwork. We get all that done in about 10 minutes. Now we are standing there with the pile of dishes and all the next day prep to be done. I look at them and say, "Well guys, the boss wants us out within 15 minutes. So I guess we don't have time to do all this." And with that, we leave. The next day, which is of course Christmas, we are closed and can't work. But the boss decided to go in that morning and check everything was done correctly. I got a message from him, wanting to know why nothing is done. I just gave him my professional reply. I made sure we were out there within 15 minutes, just like he wanted. I found out a couple of days later from a coworker that he had spent his entire Christmas day there, doing all the cleaning and prep work on his own to get the store ready for Boxing Day. Something me and my team could have done in a couple of hours. All because he wanted us out of the store quickly at night to save money. He never complained about how long we took again. At least that boss learned that he shouldn't complain about them doing their work. The next story is called "My Stuff Stays." My uni had a dorm for foreign exchange students. It was intended for short-term residency and lacked many of the amenities of other dorms. The dorm was divided into pods, each with 4 or so rooms attached to a common kitchen and bathroom. It was 4+ people to a room, no privacy, no locks, no real rules. You were assigned to a pod, but they didn't bother assigning beds. So you just took one and worked it out among yourselves. But rent was cheap, 150 euros or so local students also took advantage. Quarters were tight, but people more or less got along. However, there was one girl who was just the definition of entitled. She would buy enough groceries for a family of 4, stuff the communal fridges full of her food, then leave it to rot. And she would freak out at anyone who dared to move her things or throw out her rotten food. She would shamelessly take someone else's laundry out of running machines, put her stuff in the machine instead, and leave the other person's wet laundry in a heap on the floor. To make matters worse, she apparently felt entitled to the best room or bed or whatever. She would routinely move to another student's bunk, dumping their stuff in the hall. Why this behavior was permitted to continue is beyond me, but whatever, it was uni. Each pod had a resident advisor, essentially a student mentor responsible for ordering repairs and babysitting. The advisor got their own room with a locking door. Our advisor graduated at the end of my 3rd year and vacated a room over the summer. The entitled jerk immediately moved into that room. Unfortunately for me, I was assigned as a new advisor. I got the news less than a week before the end of my summer session. I told the entitled jerk to move out. The resident manager told her to move out. Other people warned her. Her response? Don't any of you dare touch my stuff. She decided to go for a long weekend with some friends to get away from the hostile environment. Thing is, my classes were over and I was going home to my parents for the rest of the summer. My parents lived about 10 hours away by train. And I wasn't about to drag my stuff home when I had a perfectly good locking room. I texted the entitled jerk one last time. I asked her what she wanted me to do with her things. Don't you dare, my stuff stays. Okay, well, that seems reasonable to me. So I got a couple of boxes from the resident manager, gently packed up her things, stored them under my bed, moved my stuff in and locked up. I got a furious text message a few days later, demanding to know if I had locked her room. I reminded her that this was my room. She demanded to know where her things were. Well, you told me to leave them, so I did. I told her that she was welcome to pay for a train ticket for me to come back, unlock my room, let her collect her things and get the heck out. She declined and told me that if I wanted to come back, I would need to pay for my own ticket. Well, given that I did not want to come back, I passed on her offer. I stayed home for the next 4 weeks. She had to wrap up her studies with 4 days worth of clothes and her computer was locked in my room. As far as I know, she didn't even have a blanket and pillow. I never saw her again. Her parents got her stuff when I returned. The third story is called Refuse My Help. This happened a few years ago when I worked at a big box furniture store. This store was massive, with a marketplace, warehouse and 2 restaurants. It had dozens of departments and every employee had specific tasks. Mine happened to be card retrieval and helping customers load their flat-packed furniture into their vehicles. One random weekday, my coworker called in sick. So I'm carrying double the workload when my radio goes off. Customer at the exit needs help loading. Got it. I was finishing up with another customer not too far away, so I was there within a few minutes. Hi, I'm here to assist you. Where's your vehicle? It's about time. I've been waiting here for 15 minutes. She hadn't been. I had just walked by there 5 minutes beforehand. Sorry about that. I was with another customer. I came within a few minutes of being told that you need help. Where's your vehicle? Are you saying I haven't been waiting that long? No, I'm just saying I came within a few minutes of finding out that you need help. I don't need your attitude after waiting so long. I want an apology. Ma'am, I already apologized to you. Where's your vehicle? Forget it, I'll find someone else. I'm literally the only person here that can help you. I will find someone else. Okay. I walked away and continued working since I was incredibly busy loading other vehicles and retrieving shopping carts from everywhere, including the occasional cart corral. 30 minutes later, my radio goes off with a slightly annoyed tone. That customer by the exit still needs help. I offered her help, told her I was the only one to help her, and she refused. So I don't know what to tell you. Okay. 20 minutes later, I see my manager, the cashier manager who was on the other side of the radio, and the warehouse manager talking to her. The cashier manager had called my manager and went to meet the customer. The two of them are middle-aged women, who then had to call the warehouse manager to load this large box containing a dresser. I walked past them and leaned against a post and watched. She was irate, yelling and complaining about customer service. She spotted me and scolded at me before getting in her car and driving away. I approached the managers and explained what happened. One of them said, "We get it," before we all separated and went back to work. She had to wait over 45 minutes because she was too entitled to wait for 5 minutes. I would like to think she learned a valuable lesson, but she probably tells a very different version of the story. Yeah, she probably tells everyone how bad the customer service at the store is. The last story is called Too Uneducated. When I was a teaching assistant, I used to work as a substitute teacher for a very unruly classes, aka the classes licensed teachers wouldn't accept. I had full responsibility, worked all hours, and my number showed that my class was making great progress. I just had some bad luck that caused me not to finish college at the time. Because I didn't have my license, my boss came to me one day. She talked about how I was actually too uneducated and inexperienced to teach, and that I must have had someone telling me what to do behind me. I told her I didn't, but she didn't believe me and told me she will be watching me like an eagle to see if I was fraudulent. I never did anything to my students. I'm not a cruel person, and I didn't want anyone implying that I wasn't doing my job as expected. They all got to the next year with scores higher than we would have expected beforehand. But I started to behave like a beginner student teacher to my boss only. I asked really stupid questions, like, how can I make my class quiet? I'm really too uneducated to know, so can you please help me out by showing it? I was fully aware that my formerly disruptive class wouldn't even listen to her. I called her for everything. A parent wanting to talk to me, a kid who fell down and needed a band-aid, anything. I made sure to tell her I was too uneducated and inexperienced to handle such a task. I needed to observe a true pro work. My colleagues got in on it too. They started pointing out everything I wasn't allowed to do, but expected to do, and told my boss that she was being very fraudulent by expecting me to do so. In the meantime, I was discussing gamification, the need for programming in English in primary school, showing older colleagues new teaching methods and digital assistance. All the goodies. After 6 weeks, she was done. She called me to her office and apologized to me for saying that I was too uneducated and inexperienced, and how she was renewing my contract and got some budget to pay for half of my studies. I was happy to tell her I got a new job that would pay everything to get me my license, and I would get full creative freedom without being watched like an eagle. This was 2 years ago. I almost have my license, and I still work at that awesome school that hired me, after the allegations of being uneducated and inexperienced in my old job. I even got a reward and a trophy from the board for doing exceptional work and obtaining goals with my students. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and if you have time, watch another of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.